of climate change. The climate change is caused by mainly two reasons, and they are human interventions and natural causes. So we are familiar with the natural causes of climate change. The natural causes of climate change include volcanic eruptions, the change in the Earth's orbit, etc. So all these are some of the reasons for natural causes for climate change. So coming to the next point, that is human interventions. We can say that there are a lot of opportunities that causes climate change, which is led by the human interventions. So some of them are deforestation and use of non-renewable resources. So all of these are some of the reasons that is related to the human interventions of climate change. And the next one is the major cause for the climate changes, as we know that the greenhouse gases, and which is closely related to the global warming. And it is and the greenhouse gases, we know that it include carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide are the causes of global warming. So all of these are some of the causes related to climate change. And one of the major victims of, or we can call the victims of climate change as climate refugees. So climate refugees are individuals or groups who are forced to migrate or flee their homes due to impacts of climate change such as rising sea levels, extreme weather events, water scarcity, loss of livelihoods, increased frequent disasters. And climate refugees are not officially recognized as refugees under the international law, but rather as persons displaced in the context of disasters and climate change. The climate change has created devastating effects upon the climate refugees. Though all are affected by climate change, some people are more vulnerable to it. For example, we can take the example of people who are staying nearby the coastal areas. So they are the major victims of climate change. And the problems faced by climate refugees. So the first one is displacement. Even though they are not willing to displace from one place to another, they are forced to displace from their own community because of the climate change effects. And next one is migration. The people migrate from their own region to the other regions, and there is both internal migration and external migration. And the next point is loss of livelihoods. We can say that the people closely living to the areas of coast areas, most of the people depends upon the jobs, or they depend upon their traditional occupations like fishing. So when they have to migrate from their home place to another place, they are forced to leave their lives and they are forced to leave their livelihoods, and they lost their livelihood as part of their migration. And the next one is health risk. We can say that even though all the people are affected by the climate change, some are most vulnerable to it. We can say the examples of elderly people, children, and women. So all these have the all these are affected by the climate change, and they have the health risk. Next one is psychological trauma. The loss of livelihoods, the loss of their fellow beings, all this causes the psychological trauma among them. And next one is lack of legal protection. So there is no legal measures taken by governments, even if there are, but they are not very strict. And there are many loopholes on it. And there is lack of legal protection. And the last one is loss, social and cultural disruption. So when they migrate from one place to another, they are forced to, or they are compelled to leave their social and cultural features. We know that these communities have their own particular cultural and social systems. They are forced to leave their social and cultural systems. Okay. And moving to the next one is ethical governance for climate refugees. So I would suggest that we can solve the issues of climate change and climate refugees through the methods of ethical governance. So the first one is policies for climate change. The government initiative along with the non-state actors, which include the multinational corporations and the non-governmental organizations. So all those are some of the non-state actors. So the government can take initiatives in collaboration with them. And the next one is promotion of sustainable developmental goals. We can achieve the sustainable developmental goals by around 2030, and we have to fulfill these goals. And the next one is refugee protection measures. We need to take some measures that that will protect the refugees, and that will solve the issues of climate refugees. The next one is ensure climate justice. I have already said that there are people, some are more vulnerable to it, and the people who are more victims should be considered more, and they have to be given the first preference. And the last one is climate resilience and adaptation measures. We need to prefer more climate resilient measures, especially agriculture sector, to promote the food security among them. Coming to the conclusion, climate change can create a huge impact upon the people and the planet that can even question the survival of human beings. An ethical governance strategy is essential in the context of climate refugee crisis. The ethical perspective is more related with the humanitarian aspect, and that considers sustainable development, legal measures, and collaborations with other governments to deal with the refugee crisis. Ethical governments can provide solutions that are sustainable for the climate refugees so that they can survive. Thank you.
Thank you, Aju. So, you have made a good presentation. If you have some questions, maybe ask questions. Please. Okay, so we are running short of time, that's why we're quickly moving to. So, one of my comment about your presentation is that the thing is that you are giving a very general statements, general issues. So there's no proper conclusion also, general conclusion. It's only a general conclusion. So next time when you are taking some topic, just be some specific. Specific because it's very, very general. Okay. Okay. So thank you. And again, I request all the panelists to not to read all the PowerPoint points, just brief it.
Thank you.
Second member is Nitish. Come on stage.
Okay. Good afternoon. My topic is quite different from where you guys presented in the morning. It's ethical governance, marginality and inclusion of Dalits for the better future. First I start with the profile of the Dalits, and I start with the words of TNOU Paramasivam. What he defines for the word Dalit is the true people of this land. This is what the explanation he has written in his book Hindu Desiyam. His name is TNOU Paramasivam. The Dalit, when we see the Dalit population of India, it accounts for 16.6% of the total population according to the 2011 census of India. 100 out of 16. It seems very less in number, right? But not in this. It accounts for 33 crore, 23 or 24 lakhs population. It is very large. It is more than the total population of UP and Kerala combined. Okay. Next comes the Dalit conversion. When we speak about the Dalit conversion, the Dalit people who used to face a lot of discrimination, violence within the Hinduism, they started to move into other religions like Buddhism, Sikhism, and other religions as well. Like Dr. B.R. Ambedkar converted to Buddhism in 1956. But the problem over here is the people who converted from Dalit Hindu to Sikhism or Buddhism was represented or scheduled under the scheduled caste category, and it was released under the President Order of 1956 and 1990 as well. But the Dalits who are converted to the other religions like Islam or Christianity are not listed under the scheduled caste category, which means that the people who are converted cannot enjoy the reservation policy which was provided by the union government as well as the state government in Tamil Nadu. I want to give one example. In 2009, the TMP government in Tamil Nadu provided a 3% internal reservation for Arundhathiyas within the SC quota, which the SC quota of Tamil Nadu reservation policy is more than the reservation policy of Union government. Union government just provides 15% of reservation to the SCs, but the state government of Tamil Nadu provides 18% of the reservation. More importantly, Supreme Court held that reservation should not exceed 50%. But in Tamil Nadu, we have 69% of reservation, which includes more than 50% of reservation to the OBCs alone. And we have 1% reservation to the STs and 18% reservation to the SCs as well. And this was safeguarded by the 9th schedule of the Indian Constitution. Okay. Next comes the protest. When we speak about the Dalits, the people who faces unlimited discrimination, violence in the Hinduism, we have seen many leaders like Dr. B. Ambedkar. He stated that though I was born as a Hindu untouchable, I would not die as a Hindu. This is exactly what he said. And after he converted, within 54 days from his conversion from Hinduism to the Buddhism, he died as well. This is most important. And next comes the Pune Pact of 1932. Why this Pune Pact is significant is Ambedkar is demanding a separate electorate for Dalits, but the Gandhiji is opposing it because this would disintegrate the Hindu society. This demand for separate electorate for Dalits came from the Mintopal reforms of 1919 as well as the Indian Council Acts of 1919 as well. It provided the separate electorate for Sikhs and other minorities as well, but it does not provide a separate electorate for Dalits. It would end at the signing of Pune Pact in 1932, which provided reserved seats for Dalits within a joint electorate. I would like to give an example from Dr. K.R. Narayan, who was the first Dalit President of India. He became the President of India in 1992, which was after 45 years after independence. He became a president in 1992, and Ramnath Kovind was only second Dalit President of India. See how much of discrimination, how the privileges which we have are the privilege which we have doesn't mean that the privilege is owned by the all people. Okay, next comes the education. The total literacy rate is 66%, but when it comes to education, the SC enrollment rate is just 20.24%. When it comes to higher education, it drops to 14.5%, which means 14 out of 100% is going for higher education. But the gross enrollment ratio is higher. But when it comes to Dalit specifically, it reduces to 20 or 25%. Okay. Next, non-Brahmin manifesto. I started the Justice Party. Justice Party in 1969 has released a non-Brahmin manifesto. It was not against any Brahmins, it was against the Brahminical ideology. For example, I can say that the Hinduism, which was mentioned, which has to be mentioned as Hinduism in Chicago Conference, it was not mentioned as Hinduism, it was mentioned as the Brahmanism. This was the exact name which was given to the Hinduism before independence. And I conclude with the recommendations to ensure SC certificates should be available for all Dalits, to ensure the reservation policy available to them, and to establish a special mobile code for the Dalit cases to deal with the Dalit cases, and independent state department for the Dalits for their upliftment, and the special act to be made include the right to education, especially for the Dalits, because their literacy rate is low. The percentage of graduating persons are also less. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Nitish. So by the time others are framing questions, I have a question to you. Is there no separate department for the SCSTs in Tamil Nadu? Separate department, ministry?
Every state government has a own department, sir. But also if any violence is happened against the SC or ST, it comes under the SC/ST Act. But where the problem arises is the violation against or discrimination against the SCs are not registered under the SC/ST Act.
Why?
This was the main problem over here.
Why it is not registered?
There is a practical difficulty, and there is a gap between the policy formulation and the policy implementation. Policy implementers, implementers of any departments of government are ideologically stick to their terms. This was the reality.
So any more questions?
SCSTs are not recognized as SCSTs, right? Then what is the status of them? How they are recognized in the society? Under what status they are recognized? They are not SCSTs.
Actually, the scheduled caste category was created for the administrative purposes of the British government. What I have said is the Dalit converts to the Islam or Christianity has not comes under the list of scheduled caste, so that the reservation policy which was provided by the Union government as well as the state government is not available to them. They are only treated as Christians or Muslims. So only the reservation policy available to that minority group will update it.
Okay, I have another question. You said the different education act must be implemented for SCSTs separate. So I thought that under Article 14 plus 3 and 4 of the Constitution ensure the reservation to the socially and educationally deprived peoples. It includes SCSTs. So what made you to thought that they need a separate educational act for SCSTs?
This is what I said earlier. There is a difference between the policy formulation and policy implementation. When the policy was formed, it was the thought of empowering SCRS. But when it comes to implementation, there is a difference.
I thought that the reservation is given to SCSTs in fullness level in Tamil Nadu. The percentage of reservation given to the people as fulfilled, I think so, in the educational system and the job opportunities.
Okay, I can give an example.
Okay.
According to 2017 to 2019 alone, 371 people who have dropped out from the IITs, the premier education institution in India, 371 members alone from the SC community, and the majority of people from the OBC community. The remaining are STs. The reservation policy is fully followed. There is no discrimination. Why these kind of dropouts are happening? So there is a problem. Except there is a need for a law.
Okay, thank you, Nitish. It's a nice question. The questions were right. So the issue of observation is again it's a serious concern. Where, for example, they are citing the winding up comments. Yeah, it's a dropout in IIT and kind of things. So we have to think over about how we can accommodate. So not see getting someone admitted to IIT and then getting dropped. This is a different issue. So from where we have to start. So are we supposed to lower the people to 50% to IITs? Then again 50% dropout is there. IIM 50% dropout is there. So we have to think together sometime. Okay. There are other reasons. There are other reasons. That's the problem. Maybe the academic there is again competing against them. Yeah, okay.
Next person, K. Gokul and Dr. S. Parthiban. Please come on stage.
So good afternoon and all. Myself Gokul from University of Madras. So today I would be speaking about presentation, and the topic would be making travel easy. How technological advancements are transforming public transport ticketing. In like my sample area would be Greater Chennai Corporation. So public transportation plays an effective role in many cities with a huge population. By carrying a large number of population within a geographical area. A developed nation can be it enhances the people to avail all kinds of services, be it education, health, and other essential services. So that advancement in technology replaced the conventional ticketing methods like a token, like a paper tickets and all. And in the starting of 21st century, now we are using the smart cards, QR codes, tokens, etc. Some kind of things. So the main objective would be to focus on how technology make the travel easier and more attractive to the passengers by analyzing the factors like reducing boarding time, elimination of visitor ticketing, etc. And the study also analyzes the importance of operational efficiency and cost effectiveness in public transportation. And another aim would be the factors like sustainability and integration of transportation. So the sample area taken from my study is Greater Chennai Corporation, which comes under CMA, which is Chennai Metropolitan Area, which encompasses districts like Chennai, Tiruvallur, Ranipet, Chengalpet, and some parts of Kanchipuram. So the ticketing system in public transportation has evolved in a huge manner. Like in 17th century, it was in Paris. The first public transportation was used in 1662. They used to carry in a wagon, which would be carried by horse, like 5 wagon. And in 18th century, a proper public transportation system was introduced in the year 1865 by giving tokens, and also the conductors were introduced, and still we are following the same system till now. And in 20th and 21st century, the ticketing system in public transportation has transformed a lot, and we can see all these technologies and other kind of things which is implemented now. So I refer to many government orders and journals and open source news articles regarding this issue, and also I took data from CMRL website and CMA websites. So there are many key findings like mobile apps and payment systems, which enhances in a seamless ticketing system, and it can actually generate a daily income of around 7 lakhs, around 40,000 passengers are using the smart card, which was introduced recently by the Chennai Corporation. And another thing is the public-private partnership. The government is cleverly combining the public and private partnership, which results in cost effectiveness by reducing the travel congestion, the travel time, by integrating in a seamless manner. And because of that, we can actually reach the sustainable goal, which is mentioned in the UNDP, for a more accessible transportation facility. And another thing is operational efficiency. Implementation of smart card QR codes, which can actually result in reducing boarding time by enhancing commuter convenience and streamlining the passenger flow. And another one is financial stability and transparency. As I said earlier, the public-private partnership and contracting models. Recently, the Chennai Corporation have inducted around 530 EV buses, which will be maintained by Ashok Leyland, and they will be maintaining and they will take care of all repair works and all that thing. It's like a contract model by GCC, which will be given to the private players. And as a result of that, you can see the analysis in the year 2023, 24, 25. I take the month of January, which has recorded the passenger flow as 25 lakh in 23 Jan and 55 lakh in 24 Jan, and it's around 94 lakh in 25 January. So another thing I would like to mention here is that two important aspects. One is the agency which is involved in integrating all these transportation facilities is CUMTA, which is called as Chennai Unified Metropolitan Transport Authority. So you know that last year this agency has launched this Singara Chennai card, which is also which comes under the policy of National Common Mobility Card by the Union Government, by Ministry of Transport. By using this, the government can easily eliminate all those physical tickets, tokens, which results again in which results in what do you say, environmental sustainability, the single-use tickets and all that. And there are some limitations as well, you know, like the user reluctance and conductor resistance. Many users hesitate to use these apps, saying that the privacy issue and all. The reason for that is the data centers which are located in various parts. Those data centers should be localized, and it should be made functional by only one agency, and also it should be localized and should be under the geographical area of Tamil Nadu, which will make users to make ticketing in an easier manner. And the next one is conductor assistance. Many users have reported that the conductors in public transportation are hesitant to make the payments in QR code and UPI payments like that. And I think proper workshop for those conductors and research training should be given to all. And also many passengers have reported transaction failure, especially during peak hours, and this made them to avail these kind of facilities. So, and the way forward would be the electronic ticketing machine fitted with proper geographical positioning system, which can make ticketing more accurate and service more reliable. To sum it up, the technology-driven ticketing initiatives in Chennai are means of successful modernization, and it can be a model for all metropolitan cities with a huge population in a country like India. So recently, last week, you people must have heard about, that's it. Last week, you must have heard about this app called Chennai One, which was introduced by GCC, and this can actually be a game changer, and it's one of a kind introduced in city of Chennai by integrating all kind of transports like MP buses by MTC, Metro Rail by CMRL, autos by Namayatri, all comes together in a single platform, and this provides a seamless ticketing experience for passengers, and as a result of that, the passengers can commute in the public transport in an efficient manner. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you, Will. Okay, since you are doing research on public transport ticketing, I think that your suggestion about the electronic ticket machine, actually this is an outdated machine. Many of the European countries are doing away with these machines. Last 2 months back I was in Seoul, Korea, and there is something called a T-money card. Have you heard about T-money card? It's a card by which you can purchase from any supermarket, and you can load money on it, and you can purchase any number of things plus ticket. If you are entering India Bus, you can swipe this card. If you are going to a shop, you can pay something from this card. It's like a physical money. So there is no ticket machining like other things. But
that's what I said about Singara Chennai. Like according to NCMC,
it's a single user card.
Okay.
You can only use it for the ticketing.
No. You can use this card for also online purchase and all.
Online purchase in shops.
Yeah. You can purchase it. There is a transaction fee for that. Whereas for transportation, it's totally free.
Okay.
You can actually use it in supermarkets and you can buy things.
So that's the way I got it.
Yeah.
So ticketing machine can be thrown away.
Yeah.
The problem is that connectivity.
Exactly.
If you are going to the villages, you will get connectivity.
The last mile connectivity is an issue here, but
Thank you.
government is making many steps to rectify that. Thank you.
Jana Shuveka and MK Netra, please come on stage.
Fine day to all. I am Jana Shuveka and beside me is the co-author Netra. We are second year students pursuing political science in Kumaruru College of Liberal Arts and Science. Our research paper topic is Neglected Voices Redefining Gender Equality for Transgender Communities in Contemporary India and Beyond. Before starting with our research paper spectrum, I would like to point out the basic discrimination where the transgender faces begins. And I'm using an example written by Alan Kritika Patel, which is published in the Sage publications. Quote unquote, gender stereotyping refers to the generalized perception or presumption of qualities or traits held by men and women. Such gender differences are social or cultural constructs. And here it starts. The transgenders are not even considered as
a part of the gender, or they are not even considered as a category of gender. And here the transgenders are forgotten and neglected for their basic rights. And the research camp of our paper is based on re-emphasizing transgender is also a category of gender, include them in governance, politics, and ensure their representation everywhere. And this is justified with some of the political thinkers' theories. And now my co-author Netra will continue with the basic data and solutions for that.
Good afternoon all. I'm Netra. Firstly, I'm going to talk about the legal milestones in India. In 2014, the NALSA case recognized the third gender and ordered welfare support for them. In 2019, the Transgender Person Act was passed, giving ID cards and protections to transgender people. And next, governance and policy challenges. Very little money is provided for the transgender welfare, and complicated certificate rules delay rights, which is a bureaucratic barrier, and weak awareness and poor implementation of laws, which is the reason for enforcement gaps. And now look at the reality of exclusion that many transgender people face. Many transgender people are rejected by their own families, which often leads to homelessness. In schools, harassment forces many transgender students to drop out from their schools and other educational institutions. Healthcare services often treat them without respect, and lack of job opportunities and social acceptance pushes them further into the poverty and exclusion. Finally, there are some pathways forward. It is important to include transgender issues in all governmental policies and budgets for gender inclusive governance. Laws must be enforced more strongly in education and jobs and healthcare, etc. The affirmative actions is crucial. This means reserving seats in education and jobs for transgender people. Lastly, transgender people should be included more in the political representation and given a voice in decision making and leadership roles. Janaswika will continue.
So as already said by Netra, under the legal milestones of India, yes, sir. So as already said by Netra, I will quickly jog you through our research paper. And as there are many judgments and also acts for protecting transgenders, like the NALSA judgment, and also the landmark case of Navtej Singh Johar in the 2018, and also in the 2019 the Transgender Act. I believe that transgenders' condition of being forced to beg and be a sex worker is a sign of their backlash and or government's backlash to improve them. In the modern era where even the CBSE education has become inadequate, the transgenders are still begging for their rights and basic amenities. So to emphasize their inclusion in the gender, we use some political thinkers like Kimberly Crenshaw. Kimberly Crenshaw is used for the intersectionality, and Amartya Sen, and also John Rawls and Bransky. So, with that being said, we would like to conclude our speech with the conclusion that freedom in paper makes no big changes, and rather it is effective when steps or measures are taken, like reservations and quotas, and also strong laws against the discrimination. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Netra and Janaswika. So, this is a presentation, and actually you are arguing for representation, maybe political representation. What kind of representation you are discussing?
Sir, actually the situation is like when it happened in the like early 19th centuries, where women were forced to be under the men. So the same thing is happening here. How?
Transgender issues.
Yes, I will come to that. Likewise, transgender was actually recognized as a gender category, as third gender under the 2019 NATA Act. But what happened is, their acts and whatever protection for them is designed by us, by binary. And we are always stuck with the binary gender thing, like the university.
So the issue is that we are talking about representations of the reservation in parliament, maybe through SC/ST, through OBC, reservation for other categories. So it's become instead of democracy, it will become a reservocracy. The parliament will become a reservocracy. So that will undermine the very idea of democracy.
So actually, India is known for being like unity in diversity. So what is the point if transgender faces the discrimination, violation and inhuman activities against them? And we binaries enjoy every freedom while they are suffering, and there is no meaning or constitution or country is a democratic one.
As a student of political science, the issue of this kind of reservation may be to every group. It will spoil the very idea of democracy. So we have to find out some other maybe techniques also. Okay, thank you. Questions?
Next person, M. Sindhu Kanayan. Please come on stage, give your presentation.
Happy day to all. Myself is Sindhu Kanya from Department of Political and Public Administration, University of Madras. My topic is based on the ethical leadership and integrity in digital governance, rethinking of public administration in India. The introduction. The digital governance is reshaping the public administration in India. The platform like Aadhaar, COVID, UPI and Ayushman Bharat show efficiency but rise of ethical dilemmas. The key challenges are balancing efficiency with the fairness, justice and affordability. The consumption foundations, the ethical leadership acting with the fairness, transparency and accountability. The digital governance used for ICT, AI and big data in service delivery. The risks are privacy breaches, exclusion, algorithm bias and surveillance. DHAT and DHAT, the new public service, the focus on servicing the citizen, not just steering them. The Indian digital governance of landscape. Aadhaar. Aadhaar reduces the duplication but causes of exclusion due to the biometric failures. The COVID effect vaccination system but expose the digital divide. Ayushman Bharat and Digital Mission. Innovation versus data production of consent. UPI payment. The financial inclusion versus fraud, security and risk. The DPDP Act 2023, the legal framework but effectiveness depend on the ethical influence. This is, the limited systematic studies like ethical leadership to digital outcomes, need for analyzing in the inclusive trust, grievance, redressal and algorithm bias of handling. My case studies of ethical leadership are Aadhaar overrides to prevent the welfare exclusion, the offline registration for COVID to ensure the access, safeguard and Ayushman Bharat digital health IDs, electronic financial transparency like post-electoral bonds and metric, and ethical dilemmas in facial recognition of surveillance, UPI soundbox adaptation to improving the trust or small business. My research is purpose based on integrity by design by model. To embed the ethics in the digital governance, ethical training under the mission of Karma Yogi, algorithm transparency and audit, citizen dashboard for accountability, independent oversight data board and ombudsman. I will conclude with the technologies alone cannot be ensure the fairness or trust. The ethical leadership is a bridge between the innovation and democracy. The Indian Part 2, Viksit Bharat 2047 depend on the allegation of digital reforms with the constitutional value of justice and dignity and accountability. Thank you.
Thank you, Sindhu. So you can thank you for that. So it was a nice presentation on ethical leadership, integrity, and ethical governance. Is there any question? We are waiting for some questions because a total presentation needs more questions. If there's no more question, okay, you can. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next person, Dr. K. Madheshwaran and or Ravikaran. Please come on stage. You and present.
Good afternoon, one and all present here. My research topic is Governance in the Age of Cybersecurity Threats, Ethical Implications. This paper suits India's national cybersecurity frameworks and Tamil Nadu state level policies within the global discourse and digital ethics. Embedding ethical principles such as proportionality, transparency, and accountability in governance structures is essential to ensure that security does not come at the cost of democracy. In the ethical cybersecurity governance requires balancing three interrelated values: security, freedom, and justice. Security ensures the stability of digital infrastructure and continuity of essential services. Freedom protects citizens' autonomy, privacy, and rights of expression in digital spaces. Digital demand fairness, equality, and non-discrimination in the applications of cyber laws and policies. Without these principles, cybersecurity risks becoming a tool of authentication control rather than democratic. And I used as case studies examining real-world incidents reveals how ethical dilemmas in cybersecurity governance manifest in practice. Two key examples: the Ames ransomware attack of 2022 and the social media blocking orders of 2025 demonstrate the fragility of digital infrastructure and the ethical tensions between state security and individual rights. And I have some key tensions and recommendations of governance. The first tension is security versus privacy and freedom of expression. Citizens may remain unaware of the data is shared or why online consent is restricted. And second tension is centralization versus federal diversity. Cybersecurity is governed primarily by nation laws and agencies, but states like Tamil Nadu have their own policies. Without coordination, overlapping mandates and stands may create confusion. And third challenge is efficiency versus accountability. Automated tools for fraud detection, surveillance, and predictive policy promise quick response but may lack transparency. And the final tension is innovation versus ethical resistance. The drive of digital transformation can something overshadow the need of safeguards. And the recommendations for a governance blueprint. First, embody a rights first legal design. The DPDP Act of 2022 should be operationed with strong rules of necessity, proportionality, and purpose limitations. And second one, strengthen independent oversight and accountability. The Data Protection Board of India must be equipped with sufficient autonomy and resource to enforce compliance against both public and private actors. And third recommendation, adopt global standards such as the NIST Cybersecurity Framework CSF 2.0. And fourth one is ensure ethical incident response. And finally, a culture of citizen awareness and participation, public campaigns, school curricula, and digital literacy initiatives can empower citizens to act as informed stakeholders rather than passive recipients of policy. And finally, my conclusion. Cybersecurity has emerging as both an enabler and a distributor of democratic governance in 21st century. It is fundamentally about ethics, legitimacy, and public trust. At the national level, India has enacted pioneering policies such as IT Act, CERT guidelines, and the Digital DPDP Act. And thank you.
Thank you, Madhusri. So, any questions? Okay, thank you for the presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next person, M. Satish Roy. Please come on stage, give one presentation.
Respected dignitaries, thank you for giving me an opportunity to present my paper on the topic of control of water pollution and ensuring right to healthy environment in India, a critical study on consumer protection. First of all, law is nothing but it is a body of principles recognized and applied by the state in the administration of justice. Based upon that concept, the law is going to protect every citizen on the effect of the law, which is considered as a law of the land, that is constitution. According to Indian constitution, every person is having the inclined, and one of the enforcement right is nothing but Article 21. This one of the important right. It speaks about right to life and personal liberty. According to that, everyone we are thinking about only rights, but our constitution is giving a clear-cut structurized method to the government to act as an ethical government. They have to frame laws according to the welfare of the people, because the government which is going to govern for the welfare of the people is one of the important output of the every government. It was explained in DPSP, Directive Principles of State Policy. According to the Directive Principle of State Policy, Article 48A, it is giving a clear-cut structurized methodology for sustaining development of environment protection. According to that, the government has to frame policies. Here, we are speaking about one of the important issue regarding, for example, we are drinking a bottle of water. How much TDS it should be maintained for 1 liter of water? Anyone? Minimum, it should have 50 to 150 milligram of substance. It should be maintaining a mineral water. Then only it should be consumption to the human being. It is healthy one to consider as one of the important right. It was inclined to you. We are speaking about Part 3 of Indian Constitution. It is giving a guaranteed basic right, that is nothing but fundamental right. That fundamental right includes everyone must have healthy environment. That healthy environment is nothing but it is one of the inclined structure of Consumer Protection Act. The first of all, the Consumer Protection Act was came into force on 1986, but due to the globalization and due to the structurized changes, the new act was enacted by the Parliament of India, and they repealed the 1986 Act, and now they enforced the Consumer Protection Act 2019. Who are all consumer? We are all consumer. One who consume any goods or service, they are considered as consumers. Hence, the consumer's rights, the healthy environment should be protected based upon controlling the polluted waters, because we are speaking about climate change and sustainable as well as biodiversity, etc. First of all, human must have the three important essential concepts. He must have a good form of food. That food includes water, cloth and shelter. These are the three basic needs of a human being. Hence, we must focus about the healthy environment. The Consumer Protection Act is giving a clear-cut structure. If there is any deficiency of service, you can approach the three important forums. One is District Commission. Earlier it was called as District Consumer Redressal Forum, but now the new act has clearly stated that they renamed it as a Consumer Commission, District Consumer Commission, as well as the second hierarchical authority is State Commission, and the third is National Commission. First of all, we must know that this new act has given a clear-cut structure. Any sort of dispute regarding any deficiencies of service or any sort of things, within 90 days, the case has to be disposed by the Commission. It was not followed in indigenous traditional court method. In traditional court method, if you are filing a civil suit, whether the civil suit will finish within 3 months, it is not possible. They have to follow the clear-cut procedure of Civil Procedure Code 1908. It was explaining about how the claim should be. The Order 7 will speak. How the written statement should be. Order 8 will speak. Every substance of a civil suit should be instituted by filing of a plaint and sending the summons, then filing of written statement, framing of issues, then conducting of trial. The trial will be started through, once it was a chief examination, now it was renamed as filing of proof of evidence. Then it was cross-examination, marking of documents, arguments, then filing the precedents. Finally, they will give the judgment and degree. This will happen within 3 months. But the Consumer Forum, based upon Act of 2019 enacted by the Parliament of India, they made a tremendous change for the protection of the consumers. Because Part 3 is giving the 6 important rights to every citizen of India. Not only citizen of India, it giving important rights to those who came from abroad also. For example, Article 21, it will giving protection. It will giving protection to Indians as well as non-citizens of the country. But the basic concept of the 6 rights, right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to religion, right to educational and cultural rights, every concept of based of the art of right is nothing but the constitutional remedies. Article 32, the 6 rights has been inclined for the protection of the people, that based upon the rights, that is nothing but human rights. We are all human, we are all having human rights. That human rights was reflected in our constitution through fundamental rights. Based upon that concept, a new act is going to protect the rights of the people, that is Consumer Protection Act. That Consumer Protection Act is giving a clear-cut structurized system, as well as environmental acts are also there. Environmental Protection Act 1986 is there, as well as Water Protection Act, the Water Prevention and Pollution Control Act 1974. These are the legislators which are protecting us against the contamination of waters. Water is one of the basic needs of every human being, without which we cannot survive. That is the substance we have to protect. Honorable Supreme Court has given verdict in regarding many social interest litigations or public interest litigations. For example, MC Mehta versus Union of India, Vellore water pollution case, Ganga water pollution case. Like that, the Honorable Supreme Court has given many substance of protection for the people, as well as nowadays many organizations like Central Pollution Control Board is there, State Control Board is there, as well as NGTs, National Green Tribunals. Nowadays the consumer is giving clear-cut structurized through BIS, Bureau of Indian Standards, FSSAI, Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. All governing bodies are governing us to protect against the traditional substance of pollution of waters, because the water should be one of the important source of living of every human being in this world. Hence, this act as well as the substance is giving a clear-cut structurized manner and giving the final substance of recommendation. Based upon that, every law is there, but there will be a violation. If you want to put an end for the violation, we must make some sort of substantive atmosphere among the regularized authorities or regulations, we have to make some coordination between the all organizations, and they have to act and they have to take stringent action against the person who are making some sort of endanger to the society. For example, pollution of water, through that the land is going to be polluted. The people, those who are belonging to the land of cultivation also, they are also going to affect that. Hence the stringent action should be taken, strict penalties and punishment should be imposed against them, even though the punishment procedure is there, but it should be enhanced and stringent action should be taken against those persons who are making some sort of disturbance, not only for individual, it is the disturbance against the society. The society is one of the important structurized system in which the human is living. Hence the Aristotle has given the clear verdict, man is a social human. We cannot live alone. We have to be mingled with the society. That society has to be protected according to the law. The Honorable Supreme Court has given one of the important verdict in MC Mehta case. Every sort of rights which has been inclined by human beings, it should not be deviated. For example, I think our keynote speaker this morning clearly explained that preamble is speaking about ethics. Preamble is speaking about the substance. Yes, preamble is nothing but it is the introduction of the constitution. It is the key to open the minds of the constitution. Famous that preamble itself is stating that we, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, as well as it should ensuring the equality, liberty, fraternity, and assuring the dignity of the individuals. That dignity includes the protection of water. It should be one of the basic substance of right of every human being. It should be protected according to the law, according to the substance of the law of the land. It speaks that any matter of influence or any substantive structurized method, it should be protected according to the procedure established by law. Thank you.
Thank you. So Satish Roy, a very good presentation about control of water pollution and right to healthy environment in India. Especially you are explained about various acts like Environment Protection Act and Water Protection Act, etc. Then also explained about BAS, ISO, etc., etc. Nice. I think this topic is rightly presently is needed one, because 2 years back I think we have no this kind of water bottles. Those days we got pure water, but nowadays we are all waters are commercialized. So this topic is really one. Any other questions from audience? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Next person, A.G. Harini. Please come on stage, give one presentation.
I'm doing my undergraduation in political science at Kumaragur College of Liberal Arts and Science. Today I'm going to present on the topic, the hashtag effect, how social media is shaping power, public opinion and governance. As we all know, in this modern world, social media is shaping everything. The behavior of the people is shaped based on what they are exposed to. So nowadays, people are exposed to often what they are seeing in social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter or Instagram, whatever it may be. So my research paper is about how the social media is shaping public opinion, and I have researched about it in three themes. The first theme is about political mobilization, how it is affecting the political campaigns. The next is about the ethical dilemma and privacy, and the next is negative influence. I have used case studies for explaining these themes. The first theme is political mobilization. The great example is the 2019 election. In the 2019 Lok Sabha election, the BJP government won. One of the main reasons for that is the hashtags that we used in the Twitter. The famous hashtag is Fir Ek Baar Modi Sarkar, and the other one is Mambi Chowkidar. These hashtags was trending during that time in all the social media platforms. Because of this, the mindset of the people is shaped based on one particular political party, and they are not able to explore about the other political opposition parties out there. So the main essence of the democratic country is election. So because of this the social media, even the election is completely coming to the echo chambers. The next is privacy and ethical dilemma. For this, I have took the case of Andy Biden, the recent case of Coldplay concert, where the individual is exposed in the online. The thing what happened to them is it's private. It is completely a private matter. But because of the social media, it is completely exposed in online. So during that particular period, if you see Instagram or Twitter, that was the trending reel which everyone was seeing. So during that time, people lost their basic humanity, and everyone started to react for what is happening, and they do not try to reflect on what is happening out there. So because of this, the privacy of the people is not violated. That the Constitution says that there is every individual has the right to liberty and right to freedom, right to privacy. But because of the social media, everything is violated in that case. And this not only affected the individuals involved in that case, but it also affected their family members, which also causes many mental health problems. The next thing is influence on civic life. So for this, I took the case study of the recent street dog case. In the Delhi recent street dog case, people started to protest for the safety of the dogs, and this was mainly promoted using the social media. But the mindset of the people is shaped on one thing, that the rights of the dog should be served. But they didn't focus on the people who are affected because of those street dogs. So because of this, the mindset of the people is shaped based on one thing. So that is a complete echo chamber built because of this social media. So the way forward that I would like to give for this is, there are already lot of government acts such as Digital and Personalized Data Protection Act, Information Technology Act, and other cyber security acts. But the thing is, these all focus on the macro problems, and they do not focus on the micro level phenomena. So the government should try to bring further acts which should focus on the micro level problems. And people are not aware of what is happening in social media. They are not aware which is correct information and which is a fake narrative. So they should have a digital literacy, and there should be awareness campaigns for that. And at the same time, if we see in China, there is a concept called as censorship, where any information which is violative or which is against the government, it is censored by the government. But in that context, it curtails the rights of the freedom. So, but our country should not follow that. Instead, we should take a balanced approach, where we should use that concept only during the sensitive matters, especially during the silence period during the election times. Thank you.
Harini, hashtag effect, how social media is taking power. I think today in elections, hashtag is playing important role. But some of the news is coming from newspaper, is that some of the agencies are going to pay for fake hashtag. That may be impact in social media and political perception. So what do you think about how to avoid this kind of fake hashtag for political effect in political winning situations?
To avoid this fake hashtags, the government should come up with certain censorships. That is, during the election, the government should ensure that only the information which are legally proved should be accepted to be uploaded in the social media, because so that it would ensure that there is a proper, free and fair election happening in our country.
Thank you. Any other question from our audience? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, next person or Shweta, please come on stage, give one presentation.
Afternoon to one and all present here. I'm R. Shweta and I'm an undergraduate student of political science. Today I'm going to present about my topic, which is ethical governance for gender equality in decision making. To begin with, talking about ethical governance, governance is not just about enforcing rules. So governance should act as a moral compass guiding power towards justice and inclusivity. So in India, there are institutions that are performing very efficiently, but we have to question whether the decision making is done with complete fairness. So in order to give more brief about my topic, I am focusing more on women representation and how can this not be reduced to tokenism in our country. So I have also dealt with the constitutional policy frameworks in India, like the 73rd and the 74th amendments, which propose, and also the women reservation bill. So in India, democracy cannot be practiced fairly when we are silencing half of its population. So to give a brief about my literature review, I have included the works of Gilligan's Ethics of Care, which has challenged the male-centric theories of morality, highlighting the role of empathy, responsibility and relationships in ethical decision-making. Also, I have included the work of Amartya Sen's capability approach, wherein he talks about expanding the freedom of people by giving them an opportunity and level playing field so that they can find their capabilities and work on it. In India, we have reservations in Panchayati Raj institutions, but these are often under the risk of tokenism. So theoretical and ethical foundations, I have included Kantian deontology and utilitarianism, which speak about rationality, universality, and also impartiality. So the constitutional policy framework in India by the 73rd and 74th amendment have reserved one-third of the seats for women in rural and urban areas. But what we have to note is that one recent controversy was there in Nagaland, wherein women were given urban local representations, but it got conflicted with their customary practices. So these led to women not having rights to, have a say in the decision-making process. So though we have constitutional policy frameworks in India, there is often this problem of women not being able to have a say in the decision-making process. And decision-making process in India, as a part of governance, is very much important in order to ensure justice and fairness. I have also included case studies and global perspectives in my paper, wherein I have included Rwanda, which has over 61% of women representation in the lower house of the parliament. It all started after their post-genocide period, wherein they mandated a minimum of 30% reservation. The women representation there has shown major contribution to institutional rebuilding over there. Also have included about Nordic countries, Sweden, Norway, Finland and Denmark, wherein women representation in parliament exceeds 40%, and they have always influenced policy on childcare, parental leave and social equity. One case I have included is about the India's Security Exchange Board, wherein which it mandated one women director on the board of the listed companies. So from this paper, I have come to know that the way forward can be done by little steps that can be taken by our government. So it can be done through capacity building and also mentorship programs. Also, there is a need for gender budgeting in our country so that we ensure that mainstream women's development priorities are also taken into care. Also, the third thing is bridging the digital divide, because when women are exposed to at least the digital decision-making power, we can also translate it to the formal physical environment as well easily. So that translation would be made easily. Also then I have included about the intersectional lens which is needed to address the exclusion of Dalits and Adivasi, minority and disabled women. At last I would like to conclude with a quote of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, wherein he said, political democracy cannot last unless there lies at its base the social democracy.
Thank you, Shweta. You have brought a very serious issue, gender equality in decision making. Okay, so I'll just start from Ambedkar. You finished with Ambedkar and political democracy. How many women were in the drafting committee? How many women were in the drafting committee of Indian Constitution? Ambedkar was talking about political, this kind of democracy, but still.
Sir, at that period period there were no large legal luminaries, but I am aware of the fact that right now in High Court there are only in Supreme Court only 3 out of 34 judges are women in Supreme Court, and also I am aware about the current situation. So
the issue is not only about representation. You have maybe there may be talkers at points of time.
Yes.
That's what happens. There may be women and maybe working with the percentage kind of things. But the thing is that where we have to start from women itself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. In High Court also there is only 14% of women representing women.
See, majority of the people who present paper here are women.
Yes.
Then you are the people who have to start this kind of maybe equality in decision making. You have been in good institutions, you have been in good positions. So tomorrow will be your time. Okay.
So the aim is to ensure equality. It's not about taking turns. So it's like.
It's going to give us equality.
Yeah.
Just be forward and God.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? No. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you so much. 15 minutes break. Please go to coffee, snacks.